Good morning, everybody. So it's about 6:30. I've been up for I don't know, over an hour, and got up, made some coffee, took off the rain fly so I can enjoy that beautiful sunrise. So I didn't get the video edited, so I'm doing that now, and couldn't ask for a better morning. Alright, so it's about 8 o'clock. The video is edited and nearly uploaded, so I'm starting to pack everything up. So it is a beautiful morning, and there wasn't any dew, which is kind of crazy. I could have slept without the rain fly if I'd known that, but it's really hard to predict whether or not there's going to be a crazy amount of dew. So yeah, I'm still enjoying my coffee. I'm going to get all this cleaned up and then make some breakfast. I've nearly got everything packed up, and it's a beautiful morning, and it's starting to warm up a little bit. I did happen to get visited by some duck hunters about right at first light. That was the first time I've been visited on this trip, and they were just here to hunt some teal duck, and so they just pulled in next to me and walked off onto the island to go look for ducks to hunt. And yeah, luckily I didn't seem to bother them too much, and they didn't bother me. And when they were done hunting, came back, had a nice conversation. I had a bird dog with them. It was a pretty cool little interaction. So yeah, I'm going to get breakfast going and then get on the water. It's been a good morning. Okay, so it's about 9 o'clock. The boat is just about launched, and I'm ready to head out. So there's the bottom end of Tate Island, and there's some just absolutely gorgeous cliffs here. So it's a just extremely beautiful area through here. So I've got about 13 miles to Hermann, where I plan to meet some family and friends there. So I'm looking forward to that. I can hopefully find a power outlet there at Hermann because I'm pretty low on power. So we'll see. So there is a house all the way up on top of that bluff, just right on the edge. That is a crazy view that they have. So I'm passing by mileage marker 110. So pretty exciting. Hermann's at 98. So 12 more miles to go. And you can see the Katy Trail right there behind it, behind the sign. So pretty cool. And the culvert pipe there has 1908 stamped on it. So that's pretty interesting. So it's a little after 10, and I just can't get over that I've had almost a week of just no wind at all. It's just completely still. Oh, jeez. It's just completely still, and it's just completely still, and there is no air movement at all. It is just crazy to me. So while it is going to be pretty hot, I think today is going to be the hottest day. So that's not completely ideal. It is honestly expected in Missouri. So it's not really too big of a deal. I'm pretty used to the heat by now, and it's just mind-blowing that there's no wind for like 5 days in a row. So the hills just kind of pop up out of nowhere sometimes. So it's just kind of all nice and calm, just trees, and all of a sudden there's just a big old hillside right in front of us. So there's some pretty cool bluffs between here and Hermann from what I remember. Though it's all going to be directly into the sun, so the camera probably won't pick up hardly any of it. But we'll see. So right here at the base of this cliff is the confluence of the Gasconade River. And I'm just now passing the town of Gasconade, which is right here next to the Missouri River. So there is actually a museum ship on the Gasconade, the USS Ares, which was a ship built in the 1980s, which was a hydrofoil ship. So kind of like the racing sailboats you see, they stand up on kind of legs with out of the water and can go very fast. This was one of the first hydrofoil Navy ships ever made. I think this was the 5th in its class, is what Wikipedia said. So here is the Gasconade River. So, right as it dumps into the Missouri, as soon as I get around this point. So the trick is to get in here without spinning around like a top, because the water is moving at very weird angles as it mixes in with the Missouri River. Okay. So right up there is the USS Aries. So there's a whole museum here, which I've never actually been to, even though I only live about 30 minutes away from here. But it's a very cool little ship. And there's a upset blue heron there. So it's a guided missile hydrofoil gunboat, and it had a 76mm cannon mounted onto it once upon a time. Now it's a museum ship, but still very cool. I need to go visit it one of these days. So I think I'm gonna just keep going back onto the Missouri, because just around the bend is a fellow paddler, and I'm gonna go try to catch up to him. So some really cool cliffs in this section, and the trees are just starting to change color. So just some extremely tall hills right beside the river, and the railroad track runs right along the base of them. So there in the distance is the Hermann Bridge, and this is one of the very few straight sections on the river. So it's pretty cool you can see the bridge for several miles. The transmission lines are humming as we go past. And the bridge is getting closer. So I'm paddling here with Dan Faust. He completed the river last year, and it's really good to meet him. So this is pretty cool.
Good to meet you too, Cody.
We were just talking, go down the river. I just about ran into that. It's just an underwater wing dam. Probably would have been fine, but I really don't want the pedals to hit anything, especially this late in the trip. So you can kind of see where the river bulges here in front of it and then drops down the other side. And the bridge is getting a lot closer. So I managed to mess up my time of when I was supposed to meet everyone. I told them like 2 to 3 originally, and then I bumped it up to 1:30 this morning, and it is currently 11:45. So I'm getting here extra early, which is never a bad thing. So at the bottom of that bluff is mile marker 99. So I've got less than 100 miles to go now. All right, coming up on the town of Hermann. So the courthouse is that golden dome off to the right, and there's a train going by. So here's the Hermann Bridge. I don't know, it's probably a decade old is when they replaced it. Be my guess, from what I remember. And the courthouse, which has a copper roof, which is pretty interesting. Well, I only live about 20 minutes away from Hermann, so this is about as close to home as I'm gonna get on this trip. Well, I have a little welcome party here, even though I'm very early, so I really appreciate it. Well, I decided to pull the boat up out of the water since I'm gonna be here for a little bit, so I'm in the process of doing that, and it hasn't gotten any lighter. Well, I really appreciated paddling with Dan. It was really nice.
Yep, so. I enjoyed it too, Cody. Thank you.
Yep. There's a closer look at the Amtrak. So I actually rode that to Jeff City once as a kid. Okay, I've got the boat pulled up here at the pavilion, and I'm meeting some family and friends here, and I've got everything charging. Alright, so my mother brought me a clean shirt, which I'm very thankful for because I was pretty smelly. So it was really nice to see everyone and meet. There was quite a few people who showed up, a lot of family and friends. And it was really enjoyable time. So I went through my boat here and got rid of quite a bit of stuff. I forgot to film it, but just less weight for the last 2 days. So So yeah, so I've been charging everything here and it's all charged, which is amazing because most everything was dead this morning. So this worked out really well. So yeah, I had a really good time here at Hermann. So I'm gonna pack everything up and probably head down to the boat ramp and probably head off soon. Almost. Okay, so I'm back on the water. I really enjoyed that and I really appreciate everyone who came by and to see me. So thank you so much. So bye. Okay, I'm back on the water. So the interesting thing is my last trip ended at the boat ramp there. So this is all brand new river to me. I've never been on this section, even though I live very close to here. So that's gonna be pretty interesting. So the next stop is New Haven, and I'm pretty excited to get there. So I think it's another 17 miles downstream, so we'll see if I get there today. So there's the town of Hermann looking from back upstream. I've never seen that before. That's pretty cool. Just as my more of a local town for me. So it's pretty cool to be on the part of the river I've never been on. So I'm enjoying it. So down here is another Capital Sand Company area. So they pull sand out here also. So there's a barge and what looks like a part of an old dredge maybe here. So it looks like there's an older dredge here parked up, and it actually has the nozzle that sucks up the sand and stuff up out of the water, which is really cool. So it's definitely one of the smallest dredges I've seen. I don't know if it's still in operation or what, but it's pretty cool to see. Okay, so I'm back behind these the dredge and this barge, the MV Maggie B. Jaeger. But the reason I actually had to paddle upstream a little bit and put me out of breath is the river right here. So I actually didn't think that this was the Luder River because it's just a very unassuming little channel here, but this river is special because it's the one that I grew up on. So I live very close to the edge of this river, and I've never seen it as it dumps into the Missouri River. So that is really cool and a lot smaller than I thought it would be. So I'm gonna just pedal just a little ways up in here just to say that I did, because yeah, this is the river I grew up on. Spent a good part of my childhood playing in this river. Obviously a lot farther upstream. So one of the trips that I want to take is to paddle this entire river. It's around 45 miles, I believe, from its headwaters, which is basically a ditch, all the way down to here below Hermann. So definitely a trip that I want to take at some point, but it's really cool to be on this part of it. I'd say I almost missed it because I thought it was bigger than that. I thought this was just a little ditch, but it turns out it is the Luder River. Well, this was really cool. I really enjoyed getting to see the confluence of the Luder River. So there's nothing really special about it other than just, the one that I grew up on. So it's what I would consider, my river. It's what connected me with the Missouri River and kind of started this whole thing. So pretty cool. So one interesting thing is that now that I'm past Hermann, I am now, for the very first time on this trip, going away from home. I'm still, pretty close, so it's not really that big of a deal. But it is the very first time of the trip that I am, heading away. So this is the closest I've been to home. I'm about 20-25 minutes away from my house from here. So, but I'm just gonna keep going. I've got about 90 from Hermann. I have 98 miles to go. So I'm gonna merge back into the current here and keep heading downriver. So that mileage marker over there says 96. It's kind of crazy just to see 2 digits because it started out as 4. It's crazy. It's almost over. Just a couple more days. Now it's kind of interesting. This section of river here, this whole thing has been concreted over. So at one point this was just, I guess, something they did to try to protect the banks. So it's definitely been there a while, because most of it's been ripped up by the river and broken, but there's still some like fairly solid chunks. So I don't know, I thought it was just a little section, but it's been almost a half mile of concrete on this curve. So apparently someone really didn't want the river to eat this corner out, so they just decided to cover the whole thing in concrete. So it's kind of cool. That white dot way over there is a barge, like several miles away, but I was able to see him as he turned the corner there, and I wasn't even sure what it was. It was just a white dot, but he's slowly making his way upriver, and so I've still got a little bit of time before I need to get over. So it's pretty cool to be able to see the barge from miles away. So it turns out this towboat is coming upstream without anything pushing, so just making its way upstream empty. I'm sure there's a term for that, but I have no idea what it is. Those things just push so much water. It's crazy. But they are made to push things, so it makes sense. It's the Janet Elaine. So I'm just gonna ride the waves out and see how it goes. Got some good waves coming out the back, but I'm pretty used to them, so I'm not too worried. See if we get our feet wet. Woo! This one might get us wet. Nope. Not too bad. They don't make much wake when they're just coming up by themselves. And this is a extremely narrow spot on the river. There's a big island here to the left of me, and the river is just about the tightest I've seen. So of course that's where I would meet a barge, but still, this was no big deal. Oh boy, the waves are getting a little big right here. Those are probably 4-footers right there. It's right here where this narrow section goes, but they're nice big waves, so they're pretty easy to climb, but those are quite large right there. I don't know how well the camera picks them up. No big deal, but just where the river gets this narrow, I guess, goes kind of crazy when a barge goes through. This is kind of cool. Oh boy, these are the biggest waves I've seen in a while. This is really cool. Woo! Oh, that was cool. So that would have not have been great if he was pushing a barge. If this is how crazy the river got with him empty, I would have gotten off. And there's a big sandbar there. I would have gotten off if he wasn't empty. But I thought it was no big deal since he was just heading upstream. And even though these look really big, they're pretty widely spaced. So the boat just kind of goes over them like it's no big deal. Seen much worse on the lakes. But if I hadn't have traveled all those miles on the lakes, that would have terrified me. But instead, that was kind of fun. It's really cool to be on the river that I haven't been on before. Because before, I kind of knew what was coming around the bend. I've already seen it. It was 2 years ago, but everything was pretty much familiar. But now, I have not ever seen this before, and it is really cool. There's some very cool bluffs coming up. And I'm really enjoying it. It's been, probably over a week since I've seen New River. Those are some beautiful cliffs. Just the fact they have like the dark gray and the like pure white just kind of mixed in. That is crazy. And as usual, there's still like full-size trees growing right on top of these bluffs out of, a foot of dirt maybe up there. It's crazy. Just absolutely beautiful. So these amazing cliffs just keep on going. I'm really enjoying paddling alongside them. So it's a little after 6 and I'm still passing these just absolutely beautiful bluffs. I'm really enjoying it. So this is just a very, very beautiful section of the river, that is for sure. So this is another barge loading facility at Treelore. So there's a barge here parked up with a big old ramp on it, and they back dump trucks onto it to load barges. So further downstream there are several barges loaded with rock and quite a few that are unloaded. So it's kind of funny. There's a full-size barge with the little one tied right behind it, and it kind of looks like a duck with her duckling following her. Just, towboats. And behind the towboats is a Katy Trail bridge. So pretty cool to see that again. So there's 2 barges loaded with rock ready to be used to repair wing dams or the banks of the river. And I'm just now passing by mile marker 85. They are really starting to count down fast. So the sun is starting to set, and this section has a lot more boats. It is a Saturday evening, but I've probably seen 20 boats go past this afternoon. So it's a definitely much more busier section of the river. Well, the sun is setting again with another absolutely beautiful sunset. And I'm nearly to the sandbar that I'm heading to. So it should be on the inside of this turn. The river makes a real hard left-hand turn here. And right on the inside corner, there's supposed to be a really big sandbar. So hopefully there is. Sometimes the Google Maps kind of lies. So we'll see. So the river just seems to get very narrow in places through this section. So this is a pretty sharp turn here, and it's just pretty interesting. So there's the town of New Haven, but right before it is a very nice sandbar. So I'm definitely looking forward to staying here tonight. Just another beautiful sunset. So I'm pulling up to the sandbar here, and I'm just trying to find a place where it's a little bit steeper so I don't have to pull the boat quite as far. I think right about here is going to work. And it's just a wonderful evening. I'm really going to miss these when this trip is over. So it's an absolutely beautiful sandbar, but unfortunately there's a train track right there. So not really that big of a deal, but it is annoying. So unfortunately there's a side-by-side on the island, which is not really the end of the world. Just means I chose too nice of an island, and it's being occupied by other people. So the sun is pretty much set. I've got the tent set up and most of the stuff in it. So the plan is that I got up at 5 this morning, so I'm pretty tired. So I think I'm going to go to bed and then hopefully wake up early and get the get the video edited in the morning. So that's kind of the plan again, trying to fix my sleep schedule before I have to go back to work in construction.